Right, Discovery 4. Land Rover Defender. Why does the Land Rover Defender get all the goodies, all the toys, all these MOLLE plates and bits? Everyone's saying, Simon, you love your new Defender too much. You've forgotten the Disco 4 boys. We haven't, have we, Zach? No. Look what we've developed. A MOLLE plate. Look at that, see? And that is going to go on there like so. Now and it's going to fit into fittings on the roof rail, but the problem is the waist rail fitting. So on the Defender, don't scratch it, on the Defender we've got this removable waist rail strip which they've cleverly designed into the car to allow attachments of vehicles. The trim pops out and there's some captive nuts fitted. So that gives the fitting for the ladder and this MOLLE plate and the sandwich box on the side. But for the Disco 4, we have no such luxury. So we have had to 3D print some blocks. Now you could do this with adhesive, but in this video we are going to show you how to fit this MOLLE plate, and we've got one for each side, to your Land Rover Discovery 3 and 4. Everything at the rear here is all the same. So I'll put that up one more time so you can get a look at it. So we've angled it here to match the angle of the door. It'll give you security inside. No one's going to smash your windows to get in, a bit more privacy, and it will allow you to mount accessories if you're going off-road or adventuring in your Discovery 4. So, right, let's get it in the workshop and crack on. Right, we're in the workshop. So, there is a left and a right MOLLE plate, and you can buy the left or the right, or both of them. We'll put them available, so some people will go, well, yeah, and then there's a debate here, if you're right-hand drive and you put a MOLLE plate on that side, does it restrict your rear view mirror? Not really, but there you go, the options open to you all. We have already messed about with the right hand side of the car, developing this product. It's got holes and everything, so we will do it on the left hand side purely because it is in a virginal state. We haven't molested this at all. Right, so we are going to use this. Right, and then for each side you will need the kits, and the kits are the same for left and right. So we've laid it out here. So this is the hook slider. So we'll go and fit these in. So the bolt comes up through the slider to create a captive nut. So that's a coach bolt there, and you can see we've got them all cut out. Okay, and then we're going to put these bits on top in the order they're laid out there. So let's get one of these. So if you grab that chair, Zach, let me move the chair there for you. Okay, so these are going to form the top mounts. So you take this, now it's got a wide side and a narrow side. Now the wide side goes towards the center of the car. So if you're on the other side, it's always towards the center line of the car. And then on your roof, you've got this big cutout where you insert your roof bars. So you've got it, ooh, there you go, it's a nice snug fit. And that then gives a nice little slider that you can slide along. So that's ready. And then what you'll do is you'll put this top. Now this top has got a little pointer on it. If I get it in the light, you've got the little arrow, and the arrow points. You can't actually get it on the wrong way. So we designed it, rather than putting a square, we put a shape so that you can only get it on that way. And that will then form the top mount. And what we'll do, I'll leave those bits up here ready, but after we've got the MOLLE plate over that, we'll put the washer on, the lock washer, and the tie down hook. Right, so let's get the other one of those up here and get those two ready. Slide them in, put in there, and put the hat on. So now we're nearly ready to, because what we're going to do is we're going to grab this left hand MOLLE plate. Okay, now we're going to put some masking tape on, but I'll just show you to talk you through the process. So be careful you don't scratch your car, and then you can just hook over the top one of those. Look, if you've got any coordination, hook over the next one, and then you see you can slide this backwards and forwards. We're going to tape all this area up here. So I'm going to retract that. But I just wanted to explain to you why I'm masking taping it up. Got some 2-inch masking tape. It's only going to take a second, isn't it? And also, we've got to mark some points where we're going to drill our holes in. Yep. I'd rather have the, it's easier, to, especially with a dark green. It's hard to see the Sharpie pen on a dark green. We could use the paint pen, couldn't we?
That's true.
Oh, we like paint.
Orange pen.
Orange pen. So we get the orange pen into this video. Right then, so we're all good. Right, with the side of the car all protected, the next thing we need to do is fit the template. So let me just explain the fixings before I take that, because if you pretend this template is the car bodywork, what we are going to do is we are going to bolt this block to the car bodywork like so, right? Through that lower hole, okay? So that the top of it is close to the window, because this you'll see is the window edge. We're going to put the rib nut behind, and then we're going to insert the rib nut. That's going to form, and we're going to bolt that up. But before we do it, what we need to do is we need to take the bolt. We won't use the washer at this stage, and we need to catch the nut. So the nylock nut needs to point outwards like so, and we should just be able to push that in and catch the nut. We may even ship them like that, mightn't we?
Yeah.
And then that's ready. Now, let's get that one, pop that nut, nylock side up, because that is going to then form a captive bolt for us to bolt. The MOLLE plate is going to get bolted with that, and we're going to put the washer in between. But just for the initial step, let's make sure we've got that there. Okay. Right, so that's all ready to go later. Right, so we are going to mount, we're going to mount the template, and we're going to mark the holes we need to drill. So it's a leap of faith, but we've worked this out. So you can see there, so this should line up with the door, this should line up with that. Okay, so I can put that one there, and then let's get this tail edge. So obviously the tail edge we can now move till it's lined up with that window. Okay. And what that enables us to do now is to mark where we're going to drill the holes. Now, you could, if you don't want to drill the holes and you want to fit these brackets, you could mark where these go. You would have to use the template to mark an orange dot, and then you can line up visually the orange dot. And what you could do is you could put adhesive on here, or you could put double-sided tape, right? If you wanted to, if you didn't, because this will act as a spreader. We've designed this to take the force here and spread it out over the panel, and particularly next to the window where it's stronger. Zach, should we not ship these with these pre-fitted? Because then if people want to put the adhesive on, they've got the option then. So we will not ship this pre-fitted. This, and what this is a water seal, and just ensures you've got a good grip there and seals to stop exposure to water. Right, so let's go. So let's mark those. Okay, so let's mark it. That's actually much better, and we can get the centre of that much better now. Alright, so let's walk that off. Let's get a centre punch and a drill, and we've got to make sure we get the right size drill for those rib nuts. Right, so let's get a centre punch in the middle of that hole there. Whoop. And that'll stop the drill wandering, hopefully. Okay, so that's given the drill. Right, we'll grab the drill and we'll get and drill those out. Right, we have a drill, 9.5 millimeters. I'll put it on the screen. That's right, isn't it? And we tested it because we did this one first, didn't we? Just to double check. So we check so you don't have to. All right, now you want to be careful. You don't want your drill firing all the way into the car. We have checked on our car, there is no wiring in these locations. We picked these locations with that. I think it's going to be better to drill a pilot drill. There you go, that's that one. Whoa! And then the 9.5. Okay, so there we go. Right, so now we will, so we can pull that, we're going to have to pull the tape back a bit here, aren't we? Because we've got to put the rib nut in this location. So just pull that middle piece out. Now, obviously, you could get some corrosion or rust. Now, someone said to us, we've had this mentioned a couple of times, haven't we? I've got no affiliation to this, so we have bought some ACF 50 anti-corrosion fluid. Someone, I'll see if I can find the comment. Someone wrote on one of my videos, use ACF 50, Simon. It flows through God's veins, apparently. So I guess that's an endorsement, isn't it? Oh, there you go. All right, we put a bit of that. It does say it's an irritant and that, so don't let it dribble on your car. Right, got the rib nut tool. I'm going to use the Sealy one today. So spin the rib nut into here. There you go, that looks all good. You know, as we squeeze them together. So it should go in easily, but then it's, there you go. And then we can get that. Okay, and that's compressed it and formed a captive nut. So yeah, let's unscrew that. So we now have a captive nut to bolt those brackets onto. And we've got ACF 52. Right, I'll do this one. Right, we are now ready to bolt up the block. So if you put the M6 bolt through there, okay, and that's coming out. We've got our other bolt in. Make sure you've got that in because we need to make sure that nut is installed ready. Right, okay, so this is going to go. Well, this actually forms the bottom mount, doesn't it, Zach? But we can spin them. So get that in there ready. Okay, and spin that in. You don't need to do it ultra tight. Okay, right. Now I'm going to leave it a little loose because we've got what we'll do is we'll mount it, then we'll unmount it when we've got everything in the right position, and then we'll tighten it up fully. So that's one. We'll get the other one on. So we've got the two blocks. They can both swivel a bit. Now this might be slightly tricky when you do it with the adhesive. Right, we need to take the 10 bolts out. We've got the nuts are captive in there, so we can fish those back out now with the bolt. So now it's time to put this up. So if we grab this, put that on up there. Okay, and now we can just line it up. Hopefully as we slide it along, we'll find the bolt. So we do need now to put the spacer washer on. It's quite important you put the spacer washer on. Okay. Now, if you can't catch it, or I've caught it there, what you may have to do is put the bolt in and pull it up, because it's on a taper, it will hold it. But I found it there. When it goes tight, it's because it's hit the nylock. So I've got that one there. Let me see if I'm lucky with the other one. Yeah, Julian specified these, and he was worried that it would damage the powder coating. So there we go. Wow, that's a plan that's worked nice. We've literally just done that. There you go. And that, yeah, that's gone tight now as it's, but what we've got to do is pull it. You see where it's not pulled up tight, because we've got to now get the nylock, which will stop it vibrating loose. So let's get the bolt on that. They're all okay up there. Now, once you're here, you actually now know that's in the right position. And we know that's all good. So actually what we need to do now, before we tighten that up, is tighten up those M6s underneath, isn't it? So let's just whip that back. I'll just slide it out of the way. Right, so we know that's all lined up. We've had the nuts in. Right, I'll tighten up those M6s and we'll come back. So we've tightened up the M6 ones. If you could just pass me the socket. Okay, and we'll tighten these up. And that was a 6, wasn't it? A hex head 6. So that's biting into the nylock now. Right, couple of notes as I'm doing this. So, we've designed this with a load of features and we'll go through what those. So these take some clips, we'll get some of those, we'll do that at the end of the video. But we've also, quite importantly, you've got these 4 holes here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they will take the, hold on, is it those 4? No, yes, it's 6 actually. It's those 2 and these small 2 here. They will take the Land Rover Defender lunchbox, so you can fit the lunchbox on here from the Defender and get that sort of Defender lifestyle look, which is really cool. Right then, let's get up on the top. Zach, grab your chair. So we've got our washer. Okay, all these fittings are stainless steel, and we can tighten up. And it also gives you some lashing points on the roof then. Okay. That's not too long a job, is it, Zach? That's all right. We've tweaked a couple of things on the way, Zach and I, as we've done this video. If it looks like it's stopped at various points, it's because we have. But only to make it better and stuff. Right, so there you go. That is it done. Right, we'll go and grab the thing, but let's take back. Let's have a look at our work, congratulate ourselves, and then I'll go through the clips and the other fittings. Right, so there we go. We have got it installed. So I'm going to show you a couple of bits. So these are the hooks we've got on the website. So these are quite handy, and that's what this sort of special shape is here for. It's this little clippy bit here that goes through and comes down, and that forms that clip. The other thing we did, which these are tie downs from the boot. Most Land Rovers have these tie downs in the boot, and they're really cheap on eBay because they don't break, they don't go wrong, and every time they scrap a car, they take these out and put them for sale on eBay. So they're quite interesting. They've got this locating tongue, and they've just got a bolt that comes through. So we've designed it so you can buy these yourself off eBay, and you can mount them in these 4 points here. And basically you can mount it any orientation you like. So you've got 4 cutouts. You can have it down, you can have it any of the 90 degrees, and then you simply just put a nut on the back. Well, let me pick one where I can reach the nut. And you can put the nut on the back, and I think yeah, you can just spin it in. Right, and you can tighten that up, and then you've got a lashing point that you could lash something to. So there we go, that's the other bit. You've also got a mounting hole here, so you could put a work light facing backwards, a spotlight. You could wire up to reverse, or if you go and work on vehicles, you'd have. We've also put some holes along the top here. You could mount a sort of small DRL light facing down, so if you're camping, you can have a work area illuminated. You got your tie down hooks at the top, but you can put rotor packs and everything else on there. You can also fit the Land Rover style gear activity box, and we'll put a kit together with this pre-mounted to a sort of side pannier activity box. So there we go. We'll get these for sale on the website. We'll put them for sale left, right, pair, and we'll look at getting those activity boxes. We've got some that are painted black that will look quite lush. So have a look on the website if you want to get inspiration about that. Good luck with that. Disco 3, Disco 4, MOLLE plates, done. Right, let's get the... If you do it with double-sided adhesive, it's going to be slightly trickier, isn't it? Because you're going to have to... But you could mount it to here first, and then just lower it down, couldn't you? That would be the way to do it if you go for double-sided adhesive. You'd have to nod the camera as well, Zach, because they can't see you nodding. That's too good of a camera. The gimbal's too good, is it? Right, and here we go. Oh, I can't find the hole. Here we go. Right, I'm just gonna spin one of these on quickly just to hold it in place. I've got to put the washers on, so I've omitted those, but just for the initial, because we're gonna have to take it off again. Right, so now we can slide it into place. Now we can actually take the bolts out now, leaving the nuts behind. The nuts are in there, caged in. Okay, now we can slide this along on the roof.